Bonjour, good afternoon, good evening, how's everybody doing? Are we all winning? How's the monarchy? Just because I'm British. How's the music? Is it a bit loud, a bit quiet? What's the verdict of some old school tunes as we dial into the most exciting day of 2024? Good evening. You need some legally binding advice. Excellent. That is exactly the reminder I needed to say that nothing I say constitutes financial advice. Don't sue me. Satoshi paid me to talk about Bitcoin. There we go. Fully disclaimed. Music is good? Excellent. I DJ'd it myself. It's basically my youth. So how's everyone doing today? You enjoyed trading the biggest day of Ethereum's history? It is wild, actually, to think that we've got an ETF. We need to play this. That's the real source, mate. 1 BTC. Nah, just chuck it in YouTube. Copyright-free 90s dance, and you're golden. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good afternoon, good evening. Did you see Doge NFT sale? Unbelievable. Nope. I did not, mate. I'm living under a rock. So have people been trading this today? I've been a little bit round trippy, to be honest. The golden ticket's not been the greatest today. But we've had a fun few weeks. I don't care if it's a bit of a chop day. We get them, right? Best spaghetti trade I've ever pulled on H&T this week? Yeah, I did see that actually rip. I mean, I didn't take it myself, but could you just post the playlist for the music? That is exactly what people come here for, mate. Pure music source. Scalper BitNet is up a few McDonald's meals. Oh, nice. Yeah, I've long deep at these lows. I'm not particularly liking it. It's pretty kind of bog standard range play, right? But there's kind of no major momentum, and alts most of them look like a bit of a limp dick, right? I know I'm on the 1 second chart, but still, like, this isn't exactly a fucking hyper bullish market. What, in the space of an hour and 6 minutes, we've done a 3% rotation on STX, i.e. some dog shit. With 2.5% down. Not my favourite rotation style, boys. Gotta admit. Round tripping a soul shorts right now? Spaghetti and nobles. Man, I love spaghetti. I don't know why people don't use it more. Really, really good to just focus. But anyway, is everyone balls deep long ETH? Are we net short from the highs? How are people positioned? I'll run through some of my positions in a bit. I just need to wake up a little bit. I've been sorting 1,000,001 things today. Very productive. Shorted Bitcoin and AVAX yesterday. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I'm basically sat in a little ETH long down here. I'm not particularly convinced this is going to go wonderfully well. I've still got most of my Popcat and Whiff positions open, which I think Whiff is 2.4 something, which I took a little bit off up here, but not as much as I should have done. And now it is like the literal worst beta in the world. So if we get a nice little bit of risk on, we should see that beta flip, right? In terms of this is sold off massively. Typically, longing the top performer and the bottom performer in a nice risk-on rotation work pretty well. But we will see. It doesn't look particularly glorious in terms of this nice run-up. Smashing out a lower high here, and yeah, closing under whatever meme line I've drawn. That's disgusting, isn't it? We'll just move on from that one. But yeah, Popcat again, looking like dog shit. A lot of memes like Bonk closing under, pretty ridiculous high time frame pivots, but they set up for nice potential reclaim setups if we get them right. That's kind of how I like to look at all this, is what do I want to see next? What do I want to see for the next kind of risk on rotation? Where's my validation? Like stuff like Bonk just runs, and when it starts actually getting some momentum, you know, you rip some really nice trades to the upside pretty much every time it goes, yeah? Not quite sure what this song is. DJ Charlie did not pick this one particularly brilliantly. This one's for you, Crypto Twitter. My goals remain and accumulate at least 1 ETH this year. Ah, I believe, mate. You'll do it. You bought 2 early yesterday. Port long ETH. ETH and Trump memes. Ooh, Trumps. Yeah, I think there's been some wild Trump memes, hasn't there, in terms of low caps. I mean, MAGA ran like hundreds of X. The dark MAGA ran like 200X in a day because of Elon changing his profile picture, and then minus 80% in a day because he changed it back. Just wild. You know, how you accumulate that into a consistently profitable trading strategy of gambling on low caps. Obviously, that's a bit of a different story, but nice stream, bro. Thanks. It's on like pretty much every fucking platform available. Like, I was even going to stream to TikTok, but they literally went, "You're too old. You can't fucking stream on this platform. You boomer bastard." After you identify the ticker from the trade from Spaghetti, what do you actually do? It depends. Usually buy the fucking thing. But put bluntly, what I use Spaghetti more for is confirmation than I use it for just triggers, especially in these conditions, right? And I don't mean these conditions particularly like right here. I mean like when we're actually having decent rotations, because this is a shit rotation. What I usually do, so my thought process is something like this. It's, okay, I have a coin. Right, let's say Bonk here, because we're on Bonk, right? Bosh. Bonk is very, very clean in terms of high time frame like position, right? You just simply whack this on and you say, I want to be bullish above it and bearish below it, yeah? So I prefer long side trading in the vast majority of my trades. Not because the short side doesn't offer, you know, decent returns, it clearly does, right? Like 60% down, well, I mean, imagine this is like 80, 75, okay, fine. You know, from the highs, of course, and I'm doing high to low, which you're probably never going to catch anyway. But point being that, like, when you start running it up, you know, multiple X's, it's just you get, you know, infinitely more returns, or return potential, I should say, from being on the long side. And Spaghetti and relative strength really helps with that. So we've identified this meme level on Bonk, right? It's just a fucking level. The market's going to do what it's going to do. But if we reclaim that level, so if we start pushing above, and Bonk is one of the stronger assets on relative strength, right? And it's actually high beta, and I want to see, you know, some form of strength on here. I want to see some form of, it's not just cupped with Bitcoin. If it's hugging Bitcoin, I might as well just long Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin's going to give me the same return, but much better liquidity. It's not going to just go bosh and minus 10% instantly on $1 million position and fuck you up the ass, right? It's, well, very unlikely to anyway, on BTC. But on random shitcoin, you know, far more potential to do that. So let's say this is what I want to take. I've got my meme, you know, position tool. It's not actually going to look like this because the way I trade is usually price doing this, some form of capitulation, I'll try and get involved here or here, and then my invalidation is usually like under here rather than under this stop, right? Or under this low. And if we've got confirmation from Spaghetti that Bonk is one of the better trending assets and higher beta to Bitcoin, then it just gives me that extra confluence to push it with size. So that's what I'm doing. I'm using Spaghetti more often than not these days as confirmation. There's times when I'll take a trade off it, so if everything's doing this and then one coin starts doing this, I will certainly look at it and I will play a kind of trending rotational move on it. So stick some EMAs on it as an example, use them as invalidation if we go under it, and just ride that trend. Oh, it's a lot of questions. I don't know why it says there's 1,300 viewers in the chat. I'm assuming that's bullshit. But, whatever. If you're looking at my YouTube, like and subscribe because I obviously get so much dopamine from it. You got the edited version of the song? Yeah, sorry. Ah, so Charlie, entry, stop loss, TP, thank you. Hello Marusha, how are you my friend? We haven't gamed in a long time together, buddy. I think like this, as long as it doesn't do something fucking stupid like this and then start coming up like that, right? So assuming that this is like a respectable local low in terms of market structure, I'd take something like this on bottom, right? And I'd probably just set TPs around different levels. Just like around here. Some shit like that. Right. I'd actually be a lot more micromanagey because I'm a pussy these days. But assume that this is basically a continuation of market structure and that everyone's panicking the shit out of the market and all the ETF bullshit that's going on. Oh yeah, I've got a position open. How's that going? Well, not ideal, but not bad. We're up. You like streamers that don't read the chat? Streamers black for non-subs? Yeah, that's as intended, my friend. It actually isn't. I don't know how the fuck I've done that. That's Boomer Charlie on Twitch. Yeah, that's not his playlist. I'll whip up a link. But that's the point on low time frame Spaghetti anyway. It just gives you like real confluence that whatever you're longing is very, very high beta. And if it's high beta and you catch decent like cyclical rotation, then you're probably gonna get carried by it, right? And when you get carried by it, it's just the best feeling in terms of you don't really get put under pressure. So you see some of these moves like this, right? When you start getting into this kind of ridiculous momentum, you don't really get tested in terms of your entry. And that's what I like. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Twitch peeps. Go over to YouTube, and it's all fucking free there and whatever. I didn't actually realise I even had subs still on Twitch, but whatever. I do apologise profusely. You caught just now, please be at the bottom. I mean, I think a lot of people are, trying to say that this is the bottom. I mean, we covered this in a couple of weeks ago, didn't we, on stream, which was like this daily divergence down here, and just the fact that actually we have a daily divergence at effectively support. It is worth a rotation now. For me personally, I underestimated the strength, as I tweeted about, and I genuinely didn't think we'd get much further than 3-2-ish, which I couldn't have been more wrong on in terms of this candle literally just went, nah, fuck you Charlie, you're wrong. Which is fine, still a nice rotation in and of itself, but this as a bottom versus that, like, there's not as much in terms of confluence to say that, yeah, this is more likely to be a bottom. Actually, I think if you look at 12 hour, yeah, we've had a momentum divergence up here in terms of this range and consolidation, right? All that's telling you is it's just price action rewritten, essentially in an indicator saying that price is going up, but the momentum of that price is going down. It's not a fucking 100% cheat sheet, easy signal, yada yada yada. But it's difficult to say, oh yeah, this is definitely a reversal point. You know, my personal preference is just treat this like a range at the moment, and that's exactly what I've done. I'm long from down here somewhere. I'm long from... well, long from 3413. So we're happy so far, and we're chilling for a bit of Gina G. So long from down here. Now usually I go for some like decent beta on here, something like Popcat, and that's an interesting. So that's an interesting potential rotational trade, which I completely missed, and you know, semi-visible there. But yeah, completely missed it because obviously I'm fucking streaming. But yeah, I'm in a decent like ETH long for a rotation. We'll see how it reacts to like. We'll see how it reacts to like this. But so far it's looking not too unreasonable. Just not particularly great. And some guys going mental on Twitch. How rude. Just checked Ondo chart for a minute. Why so shit? Yeah, I said for a while I've wanted a bag of Ondo, but it's just like literally I would have got the entry and then got fucked. But this is the high time frame pivot I've been trying to play around, and similarly here, right? If we reclaim it on a bit of strength, then I could go, but yeah, I'm just not. I think it had its kind of moment in the sun. I do think like RWAs as a meta like hasn't really fully played out. And I think it's one of the easiest fucking shills in terms of what's the point in blockchain and all that kind of stuff. So I don't want to write it off completely. So I'd rather have something like this where you've got a bit of confluence in terms of it's flipped a decent pivot and we're breaking a diagonal sort of downtrend and structure. But yeah, it's gonna take a bit convincing. Do you give some alpha on how to trend follow? Do you use daily opens, EMAs? Say you miss the consolidation and the resistance breakout, for example. Price tends to just go up without you. I tend to just enjoy the piece. And I just wait for the next trade. Like, there's always another trade. Like, this market moves so much. Okay, towards the end of 2023, it kind of didn't. It was a bit shit. Also at the beginning of 2023, and when volatility was literally just down only, we were getting like 1% rotations on everything. Nothing was moving apart from maybe LDO and Aptos, and that was it. Like, that's very different conditions than this, right? So the way I try and do things is I establish like a high time frame bias, right? And I'll base that off a multitude of things. It will be based off Bitcoin, and the easy way to do things is just whack a simple like trend. This is called the Trader XO macro trend scanner, because that's what XO uses. He uses the uses various different EMA crosses, 1225 or 1221, just to kind of give a high time frame view of and it's consolidated at 25. Just to give a view of like where are we in relation to the EMAs, so exponential moving averages. If they're pointing up and you're trying to fade every single move, you know, and the actual like daily trend, so a high-ish time frame trend is pointing up, and it's not in a range, which like this price action is, right? So it's not really confined by much. And to be clear, risk is on, i.e. we have alts that are moving either pretty aggressively in terms of like V reversals, or when we get sell-offs, and even just slower moves, they are massively outperforming Bitcoin, so they're high beta. So all of that kind of signals risk on environment, right? And you can chop things up as much as you want in terms of EMAs and all that kind of stuff. I use a bit of both, like EMAs and price action. So when we were up here, I shorted up here because we rejected this push. I had a very comfortable month and a half while everyone else was shitting their pants on the timeline. Personally, I wanted to flip long back here, but I was AFK. I had my daughter for the weekend. Well, I live with her obviously, but like my wife was away, so we did a load of fun things. I completely missed this, but yeah, I think establishing a high time frame bias is kind of number one. What do you think the market's going to do? And bear in mind, right, that every alt, almost every alt, all the time, and there are the odd exception where like the entire market dies because Bitcoin sells off, and one alt does this. And if one alt is doing that, that's almost always a free long. But anyway, we'll come to that kind of separate time. You know, if you are sat with Bitcoin down here, looking really, really weak, as in consistently printing lower highs, and you consistently are balls deep longing altcoins, expecting a rip, you're probably going to get your ass fucked if it goes like that, right, and just sells up. And it's that kind of thought process that I go through, you know, every day, or every Monday to Friday, because that's when I trade. And I set up my thoughts and just write them down and say, well, this is my thoughts on the market. This is what I think Bitcoin is contextually. This is where I think risk is contextually on alts. These are the kind of in-play narratives based on a combination of spaghetti, Twitter, you know, general sentiment, or potentially some future catalysts for, you know, positive price action, i.e., speculation. Because that's what we do, right? We're all speculating on future value. So I hope that that's a kind of reasonable overview of how I kind of assess risk in the markets. And obviously it's very different for things like on-chain low caps and all that kind of stuff. But in terms of intraday or higher time frame trading altcoins, that's what I like to do. And go through the process of what could be good and why, and what is my invalidation, where am I wrong on this theory. Because, you know, the biggest thing is, you know, I've got a theory, but I can be wrong all the fucking time, right? Like, I can just long if I want to. You know, is this Head and Shoulders? Okay, right, I think it's a Head and Shoulders. Right, well, where am I wrong on that? Like, basically, if it reclaims this and does that, then I'm wrong. So I have to kind of put a stop in here. Do I really want to short this? Do I really want to short Popcat? Don't know. It's pretty fucking volatile in terms of its rotations. Why they've forgotten how to enter? I mean, you've just got to go through a chart and just backtest your thought process and your theory. Like, it's quite hard to backtest the way that I trade in terms of having spaghetti up as well, because if I'm using spaghetti to assist me in like the confidence to take the trade and the trigger to enter it, like on a low time frame rotational basis, then yeah, it's quite difficult to backtest both. But if you're just trading purely price action or like order blocks or some shit like that, then that's quite easy to backtest. And that's what you should be doing. How do you use spaghetti if you don't have access to 5 second chart? You don't, really. I mean, you can use it on the 1 minute or whatever, and it will give you some very slow signals, but the real source for me is on much lower time frame. Like, look, Popcat is just popping out. Just rips out and just says, I'm very high beta. What's my target for banana? 100? I just want to see continuation in terms of... I haven't actually looked at banana since I tweeted it out this morning. Where is it? Yeah, my new boomer bastard. I deleted it. Almost done. Oh, it's Dex Tools one, isn't it? Bear with me one moment, caller. Your call is important to us. Nah, maybe not. I don't fucking know. I think with Binance it's gonna be shit. I mean, oh, we've got fucking perps now. Rip. When do they load these? Could have hedged. Yeah, I mean, I thought that we'd get obviously a little bit more of a run on Banana in terms of like post the listing on Binance and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, but alas, we did not. So, I mean, my thought process whenever I posted this morning is basically as simple as usually you get these really inefficient moves, you know, on listings and all that kind of stuff. And actually, if we are to continue bullish momentum, we should get some sort of bounce here. Yeah, it might be a bit of a consolidation first, and then we run it up, whatever. But the thought process of this being kind of a parabolic run on an incredibly good asset in terms of on-chain fees that it generates and actual revenue generation. Like, these do really well in less bullish conditions, right? So you remember things like RLB, like people flock back to the mean value of cash flows, which isn't really a mean value, right? It's actually a real value. So people flock back to it because they want quality again, because all the meme coins do this, they do fucking a Bowden, and then they probably do that, and everyone goes, hey, look at that fucking move. It's down 90%, but yeah, let's focus on that 2x. So yeah, I mean, I bought wherever it was, down here, and I haven't sold a single token. So I'm either round tripping this, that's the golden ticket, or it's going much higher. My friends were telling me to buy it down here, but we won't talk about that. We won't talk about that. Well, lots of good questions today, boys and girls. Someone started out using spaghetti. How should they look at using it for getting rotations? I mean, it would be remiss of me not to shield some of my educational content, but the obvious answer is just fucking practice it, right? Just try it. Like, just take that, copy it, use it, watch it, and you don't even need to trade stuff. Just watch it. Just literally, you can even rewind it, right? Use the rewind tool and just like replay and just watch it pan out and watch what happens and start seeing things. I've got something that I'm working on at the moment which is going to make it a lot easier, but I keep getting distracted, to be honest. But you will start to get a real feel for things. Like I said PopCat before it even started moving, right? Because PopCat's been IP, and now you don't need to be a fucking genius to work that out. You need to go on Twitter. Half the people you follow have probably shielded it. Half the people on Twitter have probably bought some and fucking longed it at some point, right? It's not like you have to be a genius to say PopCat's a good high beta asset in that regard, but having the confirmation of, okay, the market is starting to think it's a decent high beta asset again, which it wasn't, you know, way back here, like whatever it was, like back here, it's just fucking sat in the masses somewhere. Like, that is when you start getting the confidence to take a position for a rotation. Oh, we got Maker. Maker and ETC. It's definitely an ETH rotation, boys and girls. And I managed to long some ETH with a little bit of size. Not huge though. You gotta become a spaghetti junkie. Yeah, I mean, maybe. Like, I find that it's just one of the things I struggled with when I first started trading is like the notion of bidding arbitrary levels, right? Because it's fucking bullshit. Like, I've drawn a magical line on a chart. Like, oh, well, that means that some dickhead somewhere in the world is going to punt a load of money in on this coin at this point. And what if Bitcoin sells off? No, I've drawn my line. Well, no, hang on a minute. If Bitcoin sells off, I thought you said alts are going to die. No, I've drawn my line, mate. It can't possibly go down from here. Right, so that whole concept of just technical analysis just standing by itself is difficult, right? Difficult for me to kind of comprehend. But if you say, right, I've got this magical line, like on Bonk, that gives me a really clean invalidation of where I want to be bullish and where I want to be bearish for the reasons that I kind of outlined in terms of, let's just go to the Bonk chart. You know, from a market structure perspective, confirms change in market structure, or at least confirms the start of it. It confirms that that's, you know, a high or low in terms of that. It gives you a very clean range to operate within. Let's see if it actually a little pocket of low volume as well. So that's kind of move away from like the point of control, which, you know, is a bit messy. It would have been nice if the point of control was there, let's be honest. But yeah, that whole thought process of, okay, well, I've got my invalidation now. I've got some relative strength to tell me that this is a good coin. Like, I can build up the confidence to create a trade around it. Bidding at an arbitrary level is just bollocks, in my opinion, unless you've got, you know, a high time frame thesis about it, or you've got some momentum divergences going into that support, like we had on the daily Ethereum chart that we talked about last week, whenever it was. Does that make sense? Well, 1 minute spaghetti is not actionable. It is actionable, so you can, but I mean, like, if you look at the source that the lower time frame spaghetti charts give you compared to the 1 minute, it's just a lot more delayed, which it sounds ridiculous to talk about seconds, but, you know, the difference between going, oh, I'm noticing it here when it's up 2.5% versus on the lower time frame chart down here when you're probably noticing when it's up like 1%, you know, it's an extra percent, which I don't know what size you're trading with and stuff, but if you're trading with reasonable size, that alone, that is not an edge because everyone kind of has access to it. But if you don't have it, it's you know, not a disability, but it's certainly a handicap, in my opinion, and for the way that I trade. So, you know, everyone can do what they like in terms of their own trading style. But yeah, for me, it's worth every penny on TradingView. Hashtag, you know, whatever. Sign up with my link. I don't even know if there's a TradingView link, is there? But yeah, you know what I mean. I'll bombard you with shitcoins and get your thoughts on them. Yeah, why not? RRB and Unibot Summer. I think RRB is probably gonna. We covered that in a couple of streams ago. That's RBL. That's RRB. Where have my shitcoins gone? I am very confused. Doesn't take much these days, though. Does not take much. Brilliant. Beautiful. Lovely price action. I mean, it's pretty easy to see an invalidation on this though, isn't it? I haven't looked at their revenue metrics or anything like that. It's pretty low considering. But yeah, I can certainly see a meta where we're going back to cash flow generative assets and spinning the kind of sensible meme as opposed to Elon changed his profile picture. Let's go balls deep on DMAGA or whatever it is. What prompts me to add or remove from spaghetti? Well, the questions are flying in today, boys. Just whether I like a meme or not, basically. Whether it's reasonably high beta. I'll flick through like most degenerates do. So when you load Bybit up or something, I'll see the top gainers of the day and I'll have a look and I'll see if they're actually reasonably liquid. And if they are, then I might add them. If they're not, then obviously I won't. Because I don't want to be like giving myself signals on basically inactionable coins. But that's the process, really. It's nothing more complex than that. I could automate it a little bit more in terms of use something like sandwich.finance or something, but it's just no point. Mog's been higher beta than PopCap, much like last month, and yet wasn't on spaghetti. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's kind of easy to see when we actually zone out. That's been pretty fucking good. So I kind of disagree with you, and this is what I mean. It's like, this is the objectivity of it. That's why I like it so much. Because I always think like, how do you get into, or why have you shorted the strongest asset? Like, sometimes you'll get yourself into a position, you'll be looking at a chart and you'll be like, oh yeah, this is okay, this is like diverging across the highs, and then you check spaghetti, and it's like this, and most other coins are like this, and you're like, do I really want to fucking fight that? Do I really want to stand in front of a runaway train? If it's kind of a mid-tier shitcoin somewhere in here, like, who cares? Like, this will probably play out. Like, you don't have unwavering momentum ready to stamp your face out. But yeah. To be honest, this is why I didn't take the short on PopCat, which actually worked out really well, because that there was a triple div, which played out really nicely. I'll show you what I mean. I think we talked about this 2 weeks ago or whatever it was. But I was a pussy. Liquidity size? Yeah, that was it. And it wasn't particularly great in terms of extremes of momentum, but it's quite clean in terms of consistent lower highs, right? Lower high, lower high, high high, high high. Point spaghetti needs to be watching boats racing in a river. It needs to be real time, feel the vibe of who's winning. Yeah, exactly. I always said it's like whenever we get a market-wide sell-off, right, everything kind of dies. And in my opinion, that's when the horses kind of all line up, they all go back in their little boxes, and they start to race again. As soon as we start getting some momentum on Bitcoin, all these guys fuck off, and who do I want to be betting on? Do I want to be betting on this little fuck over here, who's got zero momentum and just about keeping up with Bitcoin? Or do I want to be long this one over here, which is just running for its absolute life? And it's always that one. Always. More forgiving. Only trade-off is liquidity between the two. If that's got 25k volume, then I would rather long this every second of every day. But you get the point. XRP to 1,000? XRP to 1,000? We've got an XRP moon boy. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. I've completely missed the XRP run. Completely. What a fucking fool. Missing out on generational wealth. You can see the last time I even looked at the XRP chart. Yeah, I completely missed XRP. The only boomer coin I had on my radar was ETC. And we covered that off a few times, just in terms of this downtrend, this high time frame pivot, with everything going on with the ETH ETF, I mean, it looks like shit right here, right now. In terms of potentially on higher time frame, well, I suppose it's debatable, but no real momentum. I mean, if I was being completely degenerate and I was hoping for the next big ETH leg of the market, I'd probably want to long like ETC instead of ETH, just for that boomer pump at some point. Calls on Sui, I haven't really. I traded Sui a bit when it was massively in play, but I can't say I've traded it since. You know, I look at a lot of the patterns at the moment, like on these charts, right? And we're in this situation. I don't know if any of you follow Bitcoin. I really like some of his models in terms of how he views the cycles. It's very, very clean technical trader. Runs a hedge fund and all that kind of stuff. But like generally, I like the S1, S2, S3 concept, which is just in terms of markup, distribute, markdown, accumulate. Do you know what I mean? Like that process for me, as soon as price starts doing this, is when I get a little bit worried. So, similarly to like ETH and stuff, like I'm buying the range lows because I'm anticipating a move to the highs. But am I super confident about it? Not really. And Sui, in terms of beta, is it on it? Somewhere in this mix of shit. So it's not particularly attractive to me. It was all a ploy to get you to add Mog to Spaghetti. I'm not gonna lie, mate, you did well there. You absolutely debated me. Ah. So yeah, there you go. I can unequivocally not argue with you that Mew is better than Popcat in terms of beta. I think the only reason RLB hasn't won is everyone is still convinced that revs are fake, but the UK license should really assuage a lot of that. Good use of the word assuage. I've actually said that right. XRP to go to Cardano rotation? Nah. Fairly how come you don't use the Paragon Spaghetti template, like the index template, an individual template? When I'm streaming, it all wags, so I'm surprised it lets me even put this up on the 1 second. So that's why I don't use it while I'm on here. It's quite memory intense because it's not just an inbuilt trading view function, right? It's built up. ETH is ETH beta. There, I said it. That's bad, mate. I mean, I am long ETH, so I'm reasonably happy with that. Actually getting some ETH BTC strength as well. Ah, it's going alright. We can play for some ramen noodles tonight. Yes, maybe a Twix as well. Excellent. Don't at you. Sorry, poor brother. I just literally atted you by calling your name out. Use some kind of statistics in your trading. To be honest, the only statistics I use these days are my own trading performance. Like, I have veered away from the purely... Like, I went through various stages of being mechanical and disciplined. And, like, for example, I wouldn't take a trade unless there was a divergence that was above or below, X level. I had to have certain conditions to take short, had to have certain conditions to take long, and it got very, very mechanical and very boring as well. Because, you kind of need to be engaged with this I want to be engaged with it, but if you're just literally waiting for a signal to print, you might as well just pay someone on Fiverr to fucking automate that. I like having to think about the market. So, no, I don't do much of that anymore, unfortunately. Okay, look at Giga. Man, you boys are just coming with the shit coins today. I mean, it is absolutely ripped, not gonna lie. It is a good meme. Someone told me about it way back here, and I obviously bought nothing. And what's it now? Probably like 100x? Yeah, lovely. Good community, to be fair. What's the usual setup, though, for spaghetti that you recommend the Paragon Boys to use? I think it depends on how much knowledge you have. So, like, I know every single one of these coins on here. Like, and I know what sector they're in, I know not how they trade, but I know generally what catalysts there are. Like, I've traded probably everything on this list at some point, and if I haven't, I've at least got some awareness of it, right? So I wouldn't say start with this. I would say start with the standard Paragon view of this is a meme, this is you know, an NFT project, or this is whatever other like categories there are, like ETH Beta, for example. Like, most people might not know what ETH Beta kind of is generally, and that just segments it for them nice and easily. So start there, and when you start getting comfortable and familiar with the assets and what you want to be logging, and you get into the planning process of marking up some high time frame charts, thinking through your trading plans, going, yeah, do you know what, this is the trigger for me, this is how I'm going to get into X, Y, and Z. Start building your own spaghetti. But in 2 or 3 weeks' time, I'll probably, maybe, I don't know, because World of Warcraft will be dead imminently, which will mean that for a month, which will mean that I'll be a lot more productive, to be blunt. So I'm gonna codify my spaghetti to be a lot better. So I think there's like this interim state until I finish my spaghetti, which will just make it fucking blindingly obvious what to do. The only statistic that matters is how much more money than yesterday did you lose today. Yeah, pretty much. Like, it's your P&L, it's your orders, it's your execution, it's fees, it's your funding, it's like looking at how much you are risking and how much you are winning and how you are managing both the upside and the downside. Like, that's the main statistic that I look at. Banana at Miss Goddamn, banana gun, yeah. Since you're not in Paragon, the indicator doesn't work, so we're jacked. Oh, it should be fine, mate. Or DM me on Twitter and we'll sort it out, it should be fine. I think there was an update of one of the categories because I think one of the coins got delisted from Binance. That's the other side of things, obviously you've got to maintain some of these data points. OP is ETH Beta, ARB is ETH, and OP Inverse Beta. Yeah, pretty much. I unfortunately know every asset because I'm an autistic so-and-so. Love that. Yeah, me too, mate. I've just been here for too long, do you know what I mean? Like, and all it takes is a 2-second whack it in Google and see what it is. You go, it's that, great, done. Ethereum rebalanced my portfolio today. Lovely. Right. I can't really be bothered to stay on for too long. I might do a shitcoin stream on... If we get a little bit of risk back in the market, I might do a shitcoin stream on Friday. Come home, grab a few beers, load up a wallet with, I don't know, 1, 5, 10k, something like that, and just go to fucking Solana, pump fun, and we'll just ape some dog shit together. Every time we get rugged, we got to do a shot. Is the spaghetti code open? It can be modified? Not the Paragon one, but I mean, you can take a copy of this anytime you fucking want and change whatever you like, brother. But yeah, for me, next leg in the market looks very simple. It looks like meme continuation. There's really no point in trying to continually fade memes, in my opinion. Like, there's absolutely like room to short if you really want to be that kind of aggressive degenerate, like we talked about Popcat in terms of retard. In terms of the structure, right? Meme head and shoulders. I probably won't take that. I might do on a low time frame rotational basis if it starts playing out. It's like divergence is there, or pump above, project below, etc. But really, I would far prefer we start reclaiming some levels and I just balls deep long for another rotation to the upside. Right? Real fucking simple shit. Just literally. I could even be tempted to try and jump into some Popcat here, to be honest, based on the fact that the beta is so strong. I will be patient, I will refrain. I will keep my dick in my pants for this rotation. And just accept that I've longed the generational bottom of ETH at 3-4-1-3. Of course, that's how I spend my Friday evening. Yeah. I'm a fucking cool dude, brother. On the interwebs. You'll post something so you can get me to say it. Oh yeah, no, to be honest, I've just got, like, once in a blue moon, my wife and daughter are, like, away. I can't really be fucked to make any plans with people, to be honest. Just, like, I really should be social. But just don't want to. I just kind of want to spend a night just eating KFC in my pants, nothing to do, charming, living the proverbial dream. Next Paragon stream or live trading stream where you don't talk, we just watch. Yeah, that's fine, mate. I can just record. I'll just record some trading tomorrow. Assuming that we actually get some fucking vol. I'm not sure how it'll go in terms of me actually commentating as we start smashing market buy and aping shit, but we'll rock and roll. I'm hoping that we'll get a bit more of a bit more meme rotation, a bit more meme firepower. I think if ETH starts actually moving, or starts really gaining some momentum, then memes will just rocket again. And you know, we are sat in this. I hope it's not distribution. I hope that, you know, we actually get some pretty incredible strength on ETH. And if we do, you know, get to the range highs, there'll be a lovely breakout trade to play, maybe after one failed attempt. But yeah, it should be. If we get up here, it's either a very easy short with something like that, you know, sweep of these highs, or it's going to be that all lovely breakout play and just next leg on ETH, which will send the entire fucking market, to be honest. Yeah, no reason why we just can't run it. That seems highly educational. What's that? Yeah, we'll do it. I won't stream it all day because that'd be fucking boring for you. What I'll do is I'll record it and then I'll get Leah, or I'll just edit it down to like because there's probably only 2 or 3 points that really matter. It's the planning process, what am I looking for, where's it coming, where do I want to enter and why. The actual, okay, here it is, how do I execute, how do I enter the trade. There's probably a little bit in the middle about jeopardy management, like, oh, you know, it's pulled back, what do we do? Do we hold it, do we keep it running, whatever, no, let it run, whatever the choice is. And then finally up here we take it and we close said trade and it's job done. Assuming it works out like that, and what doesn't happen is you go, right, I'm going along here and then it just goes up. Awesome. Do I ever use the index spaghetti template? If you mean, which one do you mean? Do you mean the one that's like very blue and red? No. That's the one that I wanted to bastardize to be a lot better. Yeah, we've done too much education this stream again. Fuck's sake. We belong the bottom of ETH, but the generational bottom is going to $7,000 tomorrow. Obviously. Look at Popcat. Look at Popcat. If I was fucking trading. Whee! Instead, I'm streaming to you guys. It's alright. It's pretty fucking liquid anyway. But yeah, I'm gonna love you and leave you all. I think an hour of joyous streaming. Thank you all for being here. And if you are on the YouTube, just like, subscribe, follow. I don't know. I meant to Moon Carl this shit. I'd be fucking awful at Moon Carl, right? Seeing my process, hope training a ton. Great, man. That's awesome. The on-chain sesh would be awesome. I mean, the on-chain sesh, if you're talking about like Sol shitcoins, mate, it's fucking gambling, right? This isn't trading. That is not trading. Like, people who 100x on low caps that are just like fresh launches, it's fucking gambling. Or it's inside information. That's it. Right. Love you, leave you, send ETH to